And I was so ready to vote for Jasmine Crockett because I love her. But I voted for Tallarico.
Stop scrolling. You are looking at the exact moment a political movement starts to fracture. This voter is literally in tears because she loves the candidate's spirit, but she's terrified to actually vote for her. This is the brutal blow no one saw coming for Jasmine Crockett.
Trump, who is in a bubble, has no understanding of what the American people need, feel, or want, reimposed the tariffs right away, and then he one-upped it, doubled down on it, and raised them again. And now Americans are back in the same position they were before the court decision. Higher prices, more inflation, harder to...
Did you catch the sheer panic in Chuck Schumer's voice? He starts by talking about a sigh of relief and then pivots immediately into a full-scale meltdown because the 15% global tariff didn't just go away. It's fascinating to watch the political gymnastics here. He's trying to frame it as Armageddon for the average American, but notice how he keeps repeating the phrase tariff regime. That's a very specific choice of words meant to sound scary, but it actually reveals how much the establishment is losing control of the trade narrative. You can see him trying to reconcile the Supreme Court's ruling with the fact that the executive branch just found a different legal lane to stay in. It's like watching a chess player realize they've been put in checkmate 3 moves ago, and they're just now noticing. Pay attention to his hands. He's genuinely rattled by the persistence of these trade policies, despite the court's intervention.
Supreme Court, you know I love me the Supreme Court. I love the Supremes. They just dealt a big blow to you-know-who by striking down most of his tariffs as unconstitutional. Something we've been saying for a while here, but now the Supreme Court said, yeah.
Look at the energy in this room. They are absolutely certain they've won. Whoopi is literally saying she loves the Supremes now, which is a wild 180 from where they usually stand on the court. But the irony here is palpable. They're celebrating a victory that was essentially bypassed 48 hours later. It's a perfect example of the media bubble in action. They're so focused on the blow to the administration that they didn't even see the secondary plan coming. It's almost painful to watch this back, knowing what we know now about the 15% global tariff staying in place. This is why you can't just follow the headlines. You have to look at the legal mechanisms beneath them. They're cheering for a temporary procedural win, while the long-term policy goal is still moving forward full steam ahead. It's high-stakes theater, and the audience in that studio has no idea the script just changed.
If Kash Patel loved America, he would hold up the Constitution. He would uphold it with his agency. He would stop firing people when they try to obey the law, and it's not in the political interests of Donald Trump. He would actually speak out when Donald Trump pardons hundreds of insurrectionists who tried to overthrow our government on January 6th. Kash Patel does not love America. He loves Donald Trump, and he's trying to take every political advantage.
This is where things get truly bizarre. We have a gold medal winning U.S. hockey team celebrating a historic win, and the media is hyper-focused on who was in the locker room for a beer. They're accusing Kash Patel of not loving America because he's standing with the athletes. Think about the level of division required to turn a locker room celebration into a constitutional crisis. Look at the congressman's face on the screen. He's trying to tie a sports victory to January 6th. It's the ultimate everything is political moment. What happened to just winning a game? The disconnect between the athletes who invited him and the pundits who are outraged is a massive canyon. It's like they can't allow a single moment of national unity without injecting a partisan filter. If you were a player who just won gold, would you care about the FBI director's travel logs? Probably not. You'd be focused on the flag, and that's clearly what's bothering the commentators here.
Don't think it's radical to think that $6 a day to eat is really a joke. Yeah. I honestly, and let me give you the numbers on this too. Guess who uses more SNAP benefits than anybody?
Check out the delivery here. Jasmine Crockett is going after the very demographic she needs to win over in a Texas Senate primary, rural voters. She's calling the $6 a day SNAP benefit a joke, but look at the framing. She's essentially telling rural America that they are the biggest users of these benefits. Whether the numbers are right or wrong, the optics are a disaster. It feels less like advocacy and more like a lecture. When you're trying to turn Texas blue, you generally don't want to start by highlighting the perceived dependency of the voters you're courting. It's a risky strategy that usually backfires, and you can see why that voter in the hook was so conflicted. She loves the fighter energy, but she's hearing these statements and wondering if Crockett actually understands the lifestyle of the people outside the major cities. It's a classic case of a high-energy urban candidate hitting a wall in the suburbs and rural counties.
And who can win?
As hard as it is to say, I think she's going to be harder to stay.
We're back to that same voter from the beginning. Listen to the very last thing she says. She's going to be harder to stay. That's the surgical blow. It's the admission that even her biggest fans don't believe she's electable. In politics, once that unelectable label sticks, it's almost impossible to peel off. This lady wants to believe, but her logic is overriding her heart. This is the silent killer for any campaign. It's not the opposition's attacks that sink you, it's the quiet realization from your own supporters that you might not be the one who can actually cross the finish line. If Crockett can't win over a woman who loves her spirit, how does she expect to flip a single Republican or independent? That's the question that should be keeping her campaign staff up at night. The political map is shifting faster than the news can keep up. Drop a comment. Who do you think is actually winning the Texas ground war? I'll see you in the next one.